Hello and welcome. We hear a lot about agentic AI, but what does it actually look like in the real world? Well, today we're diving into an incredible case study from the global giant KPMG. They built a system that's already automating finance, and it proves that intelligent agents aren't just a cool idea for the future, they're here, right now, tackling some of the most boring parts of work. So let's start with a question for you. Think about the most mind-numbing, repetitive parts of your job. The paperwork, the endless data entry. Now, what if all that stuff could just do itself? What if you were freed up to focus on the work that actually matters? That's exactly the promise we're going to explore. Okay, so our story starts with a huge headache for KPMG's clients. They found this massive bottleneck that was just grinding entire finance departments to a halt. They called it the 10-day invoice problem. 10 days. Just let that sink in. That's how long it was taking teams to manually process invoices every single financial cycle. We're talking 2 full work weeks spent on just one task. This wasn't some minor inconvenience. It was a serious drain on time, on money, and honestly, on morale. And of course, a 10-day delay like that creates a whole domino effect of problems, right? It meant delays in closing the books, the risk of human error was sky high, it created all sorts of compliance headaches, and it just burned through hundreds of valuable staff hours month after month. So you're probably wondering, what on earth were people doing for 2 whole weeks? Let's take a closer look at the actual work that was causing this massive bottleneck. Okay, picture this. You're a skilled finance professional, and you spend your day in and day out, painstakingly checking every single line on an invoice. You're cross-referencing it with a purchase order, you're making sure the supplier info is right, confirming payment details. It's incredibly repetitive, it's meticulous, and when you do it at a global scale, it's just a monumental task. All right, so here's where the story takes a turn. KPMG didn't just throw another piece of software at the problem. They introduced an AI agent. And this is really important. They didn't frame it as a replacement, but as a brand new digital teammate designed to handle all that grunt work. And the way this agent works is brilliantly simple. First, it just reads all the invoices and plugs right into the company's existing systems. Then it gets to work, verifying all the information, automatically spotting any duplicates or errors. And this is the key part. If it finds anything weird or complex, it flags it for a human to take a look at. This shows you the new partnership perfectly. The AI agent takes on all the high-volume, repetitive stuff, the data matching, the logging, the boring checks. This frees up the human experts to do what they do best, handle the tricky exceptions, make the final approval decisions, and provide actual strategic oversight. The human is always in control. Okay, so what actually happened when they rolled out this new digital teammate? Well, the results weren't just a small improvement. They were an absolute game changer for the entire process. I mean, just look at this. The process that used to take up to 10 days was now done in less than 1. That's a reduction of over 90%. An entire work week of tedious manual labor was just gone, given right back to the finance team. And this wasn't just about speed. It was about the work itself. A whopping 80% of that manual drudgery, the painful line-by-line checking, was just automated away. This freed up the team to focus on that final 20% of tasks that actually needed their brain power and expertise. And, of course, when you save that much time and effort, you know what follows, right? The money. This incredible efficiency boost led to about a 40% reduction in the operational costs for this whole process. That is a huge financial win, all driven by working smarter, not harder. So let's just recap the wins real quick. Costly duplicate entries? Pretty much gone. Accuracy? Skyrocketed. And because the agent logged every single thing it did, audit transparency was totally maintained. Best of all, hundreds of staff hours were saved every single month. Okay, so a big company made its invoice system faster. That's cool. But why should the rest of us care about this one case study? Well, let's zoom out and look at the really big picture here. This is the absolute core of it. This whole thing isn't really about replacing people. It's about elevating them. It's about letting the machines do what they're good at, the repetitive stuff, so that humans can do what we're good at, thinking critically, creating strategy, and solving the hard problems, instead of just getting buried in paperwork.
And here's the ultimate takeaway. This is not just a solution for finance departments. This whole approach is basically a blueprint. Think about any industry, any department that deals with rule-based, repetitive work. We're talking logistics, legal, HR, you name it. They can all use this model to get faster, more accurate, and more compliant.
So yeah, this technology is not on the horizon anymore. It is here, right now. As we wrap up, I'll leave you with this question to chew on. When you look at your own job or even your own life, what's that one tedious, repetitive task that is just begging for an AI agent to come along and take it off your plate for good?